Hello, everybody. I hope your day is going well. Welcome to Tracy's Week in Review. I am Tracy, and we're going to have a great show, hopefully a brief show, but I promise that, and I never seem to deliver. I think I'm going to do it today. It's going to be the day that I deliver on a shortened show. Just keep it. We're going to do it today. So before I get started, we're going to pay a couple of bills. Subscribe to the channel. I believe I have 363 subscribers. So please subscribe. Subscribing literally costs nothing. You can also hit the notification bell to get notified when I go live. But please subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of December. And we need your help. So just subscribe. Support me on Patreon. Patreon support starts at 50 cents a week. That's $2 a month, unless there's 5 weeks. But that's $2 a month. That $2 helps me to get my lights straightened out, which I still need new lights. I need to pay for hosting and all of those things. And I'll talk about the telethon rescheduling here in just a moment. Visit my official merchandise store. That money also goes into helping keeping this channel afloat. Right now it's just t-shirts. Hopefully I'll get mine and be able to wear it when I do my other shows. Let's see. Like us on Facebook. If you can't take down this address, you just go to facebook.com/TRACYMedia LLC. You'll see a picture of me, and then you just like it. Once we get to 100 likes, we can podcast live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Follow us on TikTok. Still want a podcast on Rumble, so I still need one more person to be on Rumble with us. Follow us on Blue Sky. Help us to get 50 likes and 35 shares. Remember to comment. And lastly, if you are a third-party candidate, there is a grassroots fundraising training that's going to take place starting July the 12th, 2025 through August the 16th, 2025. Didn't have enough space to put the time, but it's 11:30 a.m. to 1 o'clock p.m. Each of those over a course of 6 weeks. Registration is free, but it is limited to 15 participants. So please register if you're even considering running for an office and you're outside of the two-party system. No Democrats, no Republicans allowed. Everybody else, open, night course. I'll do what I want to. So please register, and I hope to see you there. I'm looking forward to it. So we've got a show today. For the most part, I'm going to be concentrating on news that's made national headlines in the state of Indiana. Indiana is a special place. And it's starting to get really disgusting to me. It seems like our state is just like we're just racing towards the bottom. I keep saying I don't want to run for office, but some of these politicians we have in office, I'm like, oh my goodness, what is y'all doing? Y'all are terrible. Um, so I'll talk a little bit about the latest controversy with our lieutenant governor, the governor's response, the doubling down on the response, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm also going to talk about, and I'll talk about this here in just a moment. I'm going to talk about the mother in, I think, Pennsylvania. She called a 5-year-old who has autism, who is Black, the N word. And surprisingly, or not surprisingly, because I had to remember what country I live in, she has raised $600,000 has been given to her. I'm going to talk about my thoughts on that. Not going to talk about the draft, but football news. May the 14th, the schedule comes out. I might go live that day, but that's just going to be a football day. Won't talk about any politics, won't do anything like that. So let's get started. So I promised I would talk about this lady, and I don't know. Oh, she's in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I said Pennsylvania. She's in. I'm trying to get it. Okay. I'm trying to get it. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna share a screen so we all know who she is, but I'm gonna read Fox 5's report. Nobody's got the text version. I don't want the video version. I want the text version. I'm trying to find it, guys. Okay, so this happened in a city called Rochester, Minnesota. I don't know why I thought this was Pennsylvania, but it is a city in Minnesota called Rochester. So the brief of it is a viral video shot in Rochester, Minnesota shows a woman saying racist slurs after being confronted by a man who claimed she called a child a racial slur. The woman didn't deny calling the child the slur, saying he acts like one for reaching into her diaper bag. A crowdfunding site garnered more than, and this is wrong because now it's up to $600,000 for the woman who has recorded saying the slurs. The video has gone viral after being posted on TikTok, and the woman has raised more than $500,000 after claiming she and her family are in danger and need to relocate after being threatened to the extreme by people online. The video shows a woman holding her child being confronted by a man recording her. The man, speaking out of the camera's view, asked the woman if she called another child at the playground the N word. The woman walking around before turning around and calling the man the N word and making obscene gestures. He took my son's stuff, the woman said when the man pressed her. So that gives you the right to call the child 5 years old and N, the N word, the man said. If that's what he's going to act like, the woman said. The TikTok clip was posted by TZN on Thursday with his commentary and has more than 10.5 million views since Friday. Fox 9 has not been able to locate the original video. Of course, the woman in the video has launched an online crowdfunding page that has raised more than, again, it's up to $600,000 now, and the goal is to reach 1 million. The crowdfunding post claims that the video caused the woman and her family great turmoil, and her personal information, including her address, phone number, and social security numbers, were leaked online. The woman says the post she fears for her family will have to move and is asking for donations to protect herself and her children. The NAACP Rochester branch launched its own crowdfunding efforts, which I hope I can find it, to raise money for the 5-year-old boy involved in the incidents. Organizers say the money will be used for legal addresses and social justice efforts in support of the child and family, legal advocacy, and accountability efforts, and broader social justice, anti-racism work in Rochester to change the culture and to ensure this never happens again. That fundraiser has raised more than $100,000 with the goal of $250,000. This is more than one incident. It's about who we are as a community and what we choose to stand for, the NAACP post reads. NAACP officials add that the child who was called the racial slur is also on the autism spectrum, which I already mentioned. Rochester Parks and Recreation said in a post that they are aware of the deeply disturbing video recorded at one of his parks that contains racial slurs and reminded anyone who witnesses such incidents to contact the non-emergency public safety line. KTTC in Rochester reported that the Rochester Police Department is actively looking into the viral video. The city of Rochester posted this response: "We are aware of a deeply disturbing video recorded at one of our city parks that contains racial slurs. The city of Rochester is firmly committed to fostering public spaces that are inclusive, welcoming, and safe for all residents and visitors. Spaces where individuals of all backgrounds can relax, play, and connect with friends and neighbors. We remain committed to that goal. The Rochester Police is gathering information and is actively looking into this matter. If you have witnessed or are impacted by an incident such as this, you may report it by calling the non-emergency public safety line at," and then they give their number 507-328-6800. I got some thoughts on this. What can you expect? This is America. Racism has always been a part of this country. And for the people that say, oh, there's no such thing as racism, racism didn't exist until Obama got in, and apparently they think now it's disappeared because Trump is in, miss me with that. Institutional racism and just plain old racism is a part of our country's background. What makes her think that calling a 5-year, I don't care how old the person is, they could be 5, they could be 10, they could be 12, whatever age they are. What would make her think, gee, that person's black, let me throw out the N-word? Does he even know what the N-word means? I'm pretty sure he does. But well, maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know what that word means. And what did she mean by acting like one? What does the N-word act like? I'm not quite sure about that. I don't get it. I'm sitting here like, but racism wouldn't exist if we didn't talk about it. That's another one. It wouldn't exist if you just keep talking about it. It's going to be there because it's here. That's why we talk about it. You know, this lady, this person, and I'm loosely basing it on calling her a person. For her to think, gee, this person is black, let me get the most derogatory word that you could call a black person and direct it at a 5-year-old. Oh, this seems very appropriate to me. If the child was in her diaper bag, as she says, which I'm calling BS on that, I don't think the child was anywhere near her. She just wanted to use that word. Let's just say she's not lying and the child was misbehaving. See, that child has these people. They're adults. They're called his parents. You go to the parents and say, this child is in my diaper bag and I don't appreciate it. I don't know. That seems to be a more reasonable reasonable response than, oh, let me just call this child the N-word. Sure. I mean, it just makes perfect sense. It and I don't want to say that Trump being in office emboldened this or made white people, whoever is calling people racial slurs, more comfortable doing it. But it seems that way, right? I mean, I've dealt with racism. Everybody that's Black has dealt with racism. She knew to say that to a child. Well, let's put it like that. She knew that if that child was 5, 10, she said exactly what she meant to say. People aren't becoming racist. They have always been. That is true. That's a good point, Theus. Thank you for pointing that out. For it, look, I got a word for the people that think like her. We're not going nowhere, right? You started this by bringing us to this country that we never asked to be a part of. You brought us here. This is the only home we know. We don't know any place else to go. So either you can deal with it or keep your racism to yourself. She knew that if that child was older than 5, let's say that child was 15, 16, 17, 18, if that child was in a certain age group, guaranteed she would have kept her mouth shut. But because that was a child, she felt like she could just say the N-word because what is that child going to do to her? What would be the recourse if that wasn't a child? We'd have had a conversation. Let's say she did say that to someone that was a lot older. I don't think, I don't think she would have did that. I think she would have kept her mouth shut. I think she would have been like, okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut and keep it moving. She should have did this in this instance. Like I said, if you see a child misbehaving, I don't know, go to the parents. Say your child is misbehaving. You need to do something about it and walk away. That's one way of solving it. I personally don't believe that the 5-year-old was in the diaper bag of hers. It could be, but I seriously doubt it. I don't know if I agree with this so much, and I'll tell you why. If we really want to make any progress, though, we must stop using the past so much. Plenty in the present to call out. But what you do in the present is based off of the past, right? She didn't just learn this word. She didn't just up and looked it up on Google. She knew what that word meant. She knew it was a derogatory term. She knew it was offensive to African people, Americans of African descent. She knew what she was doing when she said it. She didn't just learn that, just yesterday. My theory is her, either from her parents or her friends or somebody taught her, saying this totally appropriate to say this, totally fine, no type of discourse and no type of repercussions. Just say it. Just use the most offensive words to African Americans that you could even find. Yeah, just do it. Hey, what could be the problem? It's just a word. I hope. Hold on. I'm saying for those that really want to change something versus voice frustrations, get real, get serious, get busy. That's true. Truly has such people accountable and present. Consider what your opponent's doing and do more. Yeah, that's true. I also got smoke for those people that gave her $6,000. What KKK rally did she post this on? Is this GoFundMe? Who's ever posting her crowdfunding? I'm going to find this out. I'm going to find out what crowdfunding. Yeah, I'm going to find this out now. Let me find this out. So, what crowdfunding app did the racist mom in Rochester, Minnesota use? I'm trying to find out which crowdfunding did she use. Well, what app did she use? Okay. Okay, so this is a so-called Christian fund. Why? Why do they identify themselves as Christian? Oh yeah, this is what we need. Oh, we need this. Yeah, this is what we need right here. This is what we need. So this Christian fundraising website called Give Send Go. Yeah, let me go to Give Send Go is the name of the crowdfunding website that this lady used. So Give Send Go, yeah, because wait a minute, have they taken it down though? Oh my gosh, why did they have to identify themselves? Why? 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 Why did they do that? They could identify themselves as anything else. Give Go Send is the leader on online fundraising and makes a difference today. Our platform empowers individuals and organizers to fundraise for their causes. Why? This is not, look, all of us Christians, we not like that. Like, some of us, we love our fellow man no matter what race they are. We not like that. How is this group? Wait a minute. Hold on. And I want to know, is the fundraiser still going up here? Wait a minute. It's called Help Protect My Family. That's what. Oh my goodness. This is getting on my nerves. My computer is just. Okay, so help protect my family. Oh, here it is. It's still up. This mess is still up, y'all. Oh my goodness. My name is Shiloh, and I have been put in a very dire situation. I recently had a kid steal from my 18-month-old son's diaper bag, which I still call BS. I called the kid out for what he was. Yeah, because the N-word, that's what he is. Another man who recently found out who's had a history with law enforcement proceeded to record me and follow me to my car. He then posted these videos online, which caused my family and myself great turmoil. My social security number has been leaked. My address, my phone number has been given. My family members are being attacked. My oldest child may not be going back to school, even where I exercise has been exposed. I'm asking for your help and assisting to protect my family. I feel we must relocate. I have two small children who do not deserve this. We have been threatened to the extreme by people online. Anything will help. We cannot and we will not live in fear. Thank you. So her goal is $1 million. She's raised $640,333. No, she's raised $640,330. This doesn't shock me. Who are these people? Do they, like, when they have their clans meetings, do they say, hey, she seems to be against Black people? And look how she framed it, because this is really, I'm trying not to get angry. Look how she framed it. I called him for what he was. He's 5 years old, lady. 5 years old. I don't care what race he is. Let's put the race issue aside for just a second. He's 5 years old. You're calling him what he was? No. And who cares that the person filming you had issues with law enforcement? Who hasn't? I got a couple of tickets to my name. Pretty sure you have some. If somebody looks into your past. This is America being America. I shouldn't expect anything else, but I just wonder, the NAACP did say they're starting a GoFundMe for the family of the 5-year-old. Again, he's 5. 5. What makes you go postal on a 5-year-old? You go to the parents of the child. He stole something out of my diaper bag. I still call BS on that. I wasn't there, so I can't say, but it's a feeling in my gut that says, I don't think that happened. I think maybe the child, because he's on the autism spectrum, was like, like when you see a baby, you make a face at the child, and it's like, oh, look at the baby. Maybe that's what happened. And she was just like, oh, Black person, get away. Why does a house cost $1 million? What is she planning? See, nobody's asking people that donate to crowdfunding, and I have a crowdfunding campaign, which I'm going to talk about at the end of the show. She does it $1 million? Okay, I'm assuming. No, I'm going to do this. I'm going to just look on. I'm going to look on Zillow and see how much a house in Rochester, Minnesota costs. Just to see. It may be more expensive. Okay, I'm going to Zillow. Okay, if she stays in Rochester, and I'm just looking so far, I'm not seeing any house that's costing more than, I see one that costs $400,000, one that costs $429,000, and I'm looking for the high ones. So let's just say right now she's raised $660,000. So I'm going to put $660,333. Because I'm assuming she's going to use it to buy a house, although I think that's crap. So far, I'm not seeing, if she stays within Rochester, if she stays in exactly the same city, the most expensive house I see so far is a 3-bed, 3-bath house, and it's a townhome for $534,900. Everything else is in like the high 200s. I saw another one. Here's one for $535,500. Assuming that's what she's using the money for. Yeah, I'm actually assuming that she's going to use this money for what she says. Something's telling me that she's not going to use this money for what she says. But again, just assuming she does, and assuming she stays in the same area that she is living in now, I'm not seeing anything that says $600. So now I'm wondering, well, why is $1 million your goal? Is there a book deal that you're going to try to use? Is there a podcast that you're going to try to start? What is your goal? Got a comment coming in. What? Dang on it. You're trying to explain hate, wasted energy. I'm going to keep going because I don't. Again, this is America being America, right? This is the fact that she was so. I was calling him what he was. Excuse you, that's a 5-year-old child. If you had said, look, you little brat, okay, I wouldn't have been for it, but at least it wouldn't have had that racial connotation. You picked the N word, you picked it on purpose, you're familiar with using it, you deserve to be called out. Now, I'm not saying threatening her children. Her children did not have anything to do with this, I'm assuming. Hello, Tubby, as your t-shirt is coming. I've been waiting for your take on this. America's doing America. Exactly. This is America. And where can we go to escape this? There's literally, as a Black person, there's really no place for me to go. Europe is racist. Asia is racist. I could go to some parts in Africa, but thanks to Trump, now they're sending Americans back. Where is it? You can't escape racism. It's here, right? And I hate that it's here. I don't like that it's here, but it's here, right? There's no place to hide from it. Of course, racism didn't exist until Obama got into office. I love that one. That was just, oh my goodness. There's some, like I said, there's so many questions. What does she plan on doing with $1 million? Because I'm looking at those houses, and those houses, except for maybe a couple of them, I and the people that donated, like, when you all have your KKK meetings and you sit there and you just wonder, how many Black children we can call the N word? Like, were you encouraged by that? Were you happy about that? If you were, what's wrong with you? Like, literally, like, you wouldn't be anywhere without Black people. I hope you would realize that, right? I hope you would know that, but you don't. To hate someone, hate because their skin tone is different from yours, that's just evil foolishness that I just don't understand it, right? It doesn't make sense for me. Now, like I said, maybe if she had said, you little brat, why are you being so bratty? Again, I wouldn't have liked it, but for her to say he was acting like a little N, what does a little N act like? Props to the guy who taped her. Props to him for making it go viral, and we need to shame women like her and others that do the same. So, moving on to my next story. I spent way more time talking about that. But y'all, I got to talk about the state of Indiana. Oh, we some special people in the Hoosier State. Oh, we are special. I don't know if this whole show is going to be about race. But it seems like we've got some raises. So, the lieutenant governor of Indiana decided to say the 3/5 compromise just wasn't a bad thing. And I'm gonna make sure that he gets I'm gonna make sure that I get his quote exactly right. This recently took place. I'm just bringing up the article so I can read it. This is from Chicago, because Indy Star makes you pay to read their crap, and I'm not gonna pay to read there, so I'm going to the free one. Indiana's Lieutenant Governor Micah Beckwith is under fire from historians and other officials after making controversial remarks about the 3/5 compromise. The compromise was reached during the 1787 Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, and it was determined that 3 of every 5 enslaved persons in the United States would be counted towards the state's congressional representation. Beckwith posted a video on social media defending the compromise, claiming it helped eradicate slavery and was a great move by the North. His words coming up. This was a great move by the North to make sure that slavery would be eradicated in our nation. Beckwith said in a video, it actually limited the number of pro-slave representatives in Congress by 40%. His comments came as Indiana lawmakers debated Senate Bill 289, known as the Unlawful Discrimination Bill. Some Senate Democrats criticized the bill as anti-DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and likened it to the 3/5 compromise, promoting Beckwith's response online. Among the strongest critics of Beckwith's interpretation was Professor Jeff Isaac, a political science scholar at Indiana University Bloomington. To whitewash it by saying it was intended to liberate enslaved people is just absolutely wrong. Very, very wrong, Isaac told NBC5. Isaac emphasized that the original compromise enacted in 1787 was a concession between northern and southern states. Southern states wanted enslaved people to count fully towards their population totals, increasing their representation in Congress, while the North pushed back with the 3/5 agreement being enriched by the Constitution. The whole premise of it is that a slave did not count as a full citizen. It was also profoundly immoral compromise. State Senator Andrea Hunley, a Democrat representing Indiana's 46th district, also condemned Beckwith's comments, calling them revisionist history. She states, it is disappointing to see all the different ways that my people are trying to be disappeared here in the state of Indiana, said Hunley. Hunley added that the lieutenant governor's framing erases the lived experience of Black Americans and oversimplifies the harsh realities of slavery. Just mentioning that the 3/5 compromise was great, when in reality it was a horrible choice that many felt pressured into making. No one would have called it great by any stretch of the imagination, she said. Oh, here comes my favorite part. Indiana Governor Mike Braun, also a racist, was asked about the comments this week. He said, I definitely wouldn't have used that characterization, and I don't like it. The controversy sparked significant backlash across Indiana's political and faith communities. Senator Hunley noted that over 300 people have signed Change.org petition urging Indiana's governor to denounce Beckwith's comments. Ain't gonna happen. This was not okay for anyone in position of power to use the position leadership to rewrite history. NBC5 reached out to the lieutenant governor for additional comments. His office stated, we do not have anything at this time. Yeah. Indiana is some special. And but wait. There's more. There's even more to this. This one, if I tell you, wait a minute, I'm gonna tell you what. Okay, hold on, wait a minute. I got to tell you, but wait, there's more. Black Democrat senator responds, because you're not going to believe the response to a Black Democrat or former Democrat. I got to find this story because this one, y'all, I sat here shocked. Let me go to blackindie.com because this one. Let's see. Yeah. Indie Black. Oh, shoot. Or is it Black Indie? Black Indie. Yeah, the response, I had to sit down because let me go here. They do mostly entertainment news, so I got to go through here. Yes, here it is. Greg Taylor. Greg Taylor is an Indiana Democrat. And he says tells the Republican governor, lieutenant governor, that the KKK should have a seat at the table. What in the tarnation? Sir, you're Black. Now, I don't know if you're going all Jason Whitlock on this. Or you told you. Maybe he meant it like sarcastically. Maybe that's what it was. Like he was being sarcastic. Greg Taylor. Let's look up Greg Taylor. Maybe like he was being sarcastic and being funny. Greg Taylor is a Democrat member of the Indiana Senate. He's also represented in he has represented the 33rd district since 2008. He was elected as the minority floor leader in 2020, and he's a senior consultant with the MWH Law Group, specializing in municipality laws. He said that he also got ousted as minority leader in 2024 because several women accused him of sexual misconduct. But he didn't lose his seat, but he did get ousted as the minority leader. I'm good. No, let's see. Beckwith. I can't. I don't even understand his theory. Thank you, Marlon. That's what I was saying. I'm like, they already there. This is Indiana. The KKK has its roots. The KKK has its roots in the state in which I call my home. Maybe he meant it like sarcastically, like, hey, get the KKK a table, let's seat at the table. Ha ha ha. Maybe that's how he meant it. But oh my goodness. You would have never. So the last Democratic governor we had was whatchamacallit. Indiana hasn't had a Democratic governor in a while, so I forget his name. But if that lieutenant governor had said exactly what Beckwith said, he would have been ousted so quickly. Republicans would have called him racist. They would have called, oh my gosh, Indiana, we got to do better. This is the type of people that make me want to run for office. I don't want to do it, but we can do better than this. We can do better than this. He literally said with his mouth that the 3/5 compromise, it was a good thing. It was a great thing. It was not good. Enslaving people against their will is not good. It's terrible. As with most hateful policies, the 3/5 compromise still exists. It works with the 13th Amendment. States use inmate populations for Congress representation. They do. They use the 13th Amendment to keep sending poor Black people to prison, sprinkle in some convicted leasing too. Nothing ended. It just got updated. Marlon says America. It seems like people do. It seems like the more racist you are, the easier for it is for you to get into office. Like just be right. And keep in mind this: if you watched this show before, you've heard me talk about Governor Brom's comments. He already had started off a few years ago when he came out against interracial marriage. So this administration does not have a good record in terms of racial diversity and inclusion and representation at all. I think like maybe less than 10% of all Hoosiers are Black Americans. It's very low. There's very few Black people that live in the state of Indiana. So maybe they thought, you know what? It's not a lot of Black people. We can just say whatever we want. We'll just say whatever we want. We'll just go out here and just do it. It's people like this that make me want to go to Cuba so badly. I can't with the, not only is this revisionist history that he includes. Yeah, Tobias, I'm with you. This is embarrassing history and there's no defending it. Dang, Indiana. Yeah, dang, Indiana. Really? This is not what any state wants to be known as. He literally made a video, sat there, taped the video, thought, you know what, this is good. I can't because we can't go to Cuba. Wish I could. It's either something's got to change. We've got to do better than this. We've got to do better. This literally should have been condemned. The Republican Party should have came out and said, you know what? No. The 3/5 compromise was a terrible thing. After all, they're the party that originally eradicated slavery, so it would make sense. But that Dixiecrat thing, you know, that changed. That changed just about everything. We got to stay around for each other. We do, because this is just like, why anywhere? There is no lieutenant governor that should be making statements like this, and the governor says, I didn't like it. You didn't like it? That's your response. You didn't like it. Boy, bye. For real? You for real with that response? Nah, it was a terrible thing to say. Black Hoosiers in Indiana can always be assured that we're going to work tirelessly for their efforts. You could have came up with anything besides, I don't like it. The problem is you do like it. You love the word choice that he said because it touchdowns your racism. If this nitwit runs for re-election, I guarantee this, he ain't, there's no way. Nobody likes what he's doing. No Republican is sitting here like, yes, they all felt betrayed. He literally lied when he ran for office. The whole thing, the whole group of them are clowns. Somebody in the state, run against this man. Please run against this man. He got to go. He got to go. This is terrible. And for him to say, oh, I didn't like it. Who sat there and came up with that for you? Did you just like by yourself think, hey, let me come up with the worst response to a racist who says that? Who? Who sits there and says, I didn't like it? Man, shut up and sit down somewhere. Sat down and shut up. Matter of fact, you and him, y'all both need to resign. Matter of fact, we should get to do a whole election all over again. I wasn't, when the election happened, I was not on the train of the Democratic nominee for governor, and there was no third party candidate. So I couldn't go that option. Because she used to be a Republican, still has a lot of Republican ideas, but because of Trump, she switched to the Democratic Party. Let's just say she was governor. Well, first of all, she's a woman. Indiana is not electing a black governor, a woman governor, or gay governor. Just we Indiana, we the Texas of the North. But let's just say she was governor. And then you get this person, her lieutenant governor, whoever it would be, and says some stuff like this. I don't like the Indiana Democratic Party. I have no respect for the Indiana Democratic Party, but I guarantee they wouldn't have taken this. I mean, they wouldn't have taken that. I don't like it. What? I contend, sir, you love it. You love it. Again, it permeates, elevates your own racism. Man that said that interracial marriage, that's a terrible idea. Oh, I didn't mean it like that. No, that's what you said. We heard what you said. We don't care what you meant. We heard what you said. We got to do better. But you know what? Part of me has to agree with Marlon. Americans don't seem to want it any better. The more racist you are, the more destructive you are, the more that people are likely to vote for you. And that's sad that we've gotten to that point. I don't know how to get back to the point where we can just vote against this type of open racism. Maybe there's no hope for us. Maybe we won't have elections anymore after 2028 when Trump installs himself as king. But there's got to be some type of response that's way better than, I don't like it. I don't understand this comment. Gotten to that point. I don't understand that one. So you're going to have to explain that. This just, as much as I've said, I don't want to run for office. I don't want to run for office because I don't. This type of foolishness makes me really sit down and really, really, really think about, there's no way. Let's just say I was governor. You question how we got to this point, but America has never left this point. That's also true. You are true. You are exactly right. That is a good point. Let's just say I was governor and my lieutenant governor said something stupid like the 3/5 compromise was a great idea. First of all, we having a conversation. Like, no, I said they're making me rethink it. I did not say I'm running. We having a conversation like, fool, first of all, the first thing you gonna do is go out there and apologize to every Black Hoosier person. Period. You're gonna hold a press conference. You're gonna say you're sorry. You are sorry that your words hurt people. Slavery was a terrible thing. We need to have policies that are going to benefit Black people. That's the first thing you're going to do. And then I'm issuing my own statement saying, hey, this right here, that was wrong. That's what should have happened in this case. But because Brom and Beckwith seem to be members of the KKK, allegedly, I didn't like it. Republican Party silent. Democrats are making some noise, but they're playing into those old Democratic platitudes and not like mobilizing people, which is what they should be doing. They should be mobilizing Black people to say, hey, we got an election in 2028. We got to make sure this guy does not get back in. That's what should be happening. It's not, but it should be. I, I just, a part of me understands it, but a part of me doesn't understand. There's like, I definitely don't condone it. You know, it seems like this show was so focused on race because we had mother that used the N word on a 5-year-old just bothers me, and all the idiot people that gave to her campaign. Then we have this situation. And then the worst part about this situation, Greg Taylor, I'm still going to think he had to be being sarcastic. There's no way he should have meant that he could have meant legitimately that the KKK should have a seat at the table. Like, there's no way he could have meant that, right? It's got to be sarcasm. It's got to be sarcasm that he's saying this, because I can't imagine and I'm going to read this little part because Indianapolis Black Democrat Lieutenant Governor tells the Lieutenant Governor that the KKK deserves a seat at the table in diversity talks. Video below. A shocking exchange between Indianapolis State Senator Greg Taylor and Lieutenant Governor Mike Beckwith, and sparking outrage across the city. During Beckwith's podcast, Taylor agreed that the Ku Klux Klan, Taylor's the black guy, should be included in Indiana's diversity discussions. After Beckwith pressed him by saying, so the KKK member? Taylor responded, yeah, they should be at the table too. Greg Taylor, a black politician once trusted to represent community needs, was forced out as Senate Democrat leader earlier this year. That's right, because I already talked about that. After 6 women, including former interns, staffers, and lobbyists, accused him of sexual harassment and misconduct. Now paired with Lieutenant Governor Mike Beckwith, or Micah Beckwith, who has sparked outrage by minimizing racism and defending the 3/5 compromise, many are questioning how the 2 states' most visible political figures can carelessly fuel narratives that harm the very black communities they are supposed to protect. How do you feel about seeing a black elected official suggest that the KKK deserves a voice in diversity conversations? Does this show a deeper issue in the leadership in our community? Are black politicians like Greg Taylor doing enough to protect the community, or are they embarrassing it? They're embarrassing it. And how do you say the KKK? I'm trying, yeah. I'm really trying to understand. And maybe I will never understand. And that's what the frustrating part is, because this type of hate, it's passed down, right? From generation to generation to generation. And for people to just say, oh, well, you know, maybe I'm still trying to believe in my heart that what he meant was sarcastic. He couldn't have possibly meant, there's no way he could have meant that the KKK should have a seat at the table. There's no way. No way. Guys, that's the end of the show. That is the end of the show. I want to thank everybody. Go over a couple of announcements here. Remember to subscribe to the page. Subscribing always helps. We're trying to get to 1,000 by the end of this year. We're at 363 right now. So please subscribe. Support me on Patreon. Patreon support starts at $2 a month. Visit the merchandise store to get your t-shirts. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Rumble. Also on TikTok. Help us again to get 50 likes and 35 shares. And I'm going to save that announcement for later because we're going to come to the very last comment. $364. Okay, so I got 364. I was close. Racism is a disease that has passed from generation to generation. Absolutely. And remember the grassroots fundraising training if you are a third party candidate that wants to know effective ways to raise money at the grassroots level. Sign up for the grassroots fundraising training July the 12th, 2025 through August the 16th, 2025. Only 15 people will be allowed in the course. It is absolutely free. So remember to sign up for that if you are interested in running for office and you are a third party candidate. Thank you all so much. I did not want to make this whole show about racism, but boy, it's an ugly thing. It's an ugly thing. And that's all. It's just an ugly thing. But I want to wish you all have a great week. I'll see you Saturday. At 2:00. Counting down Cheerios. Yes, the cereal Cheerios. And of course, that'll be at 2. And then at 7, we'll join you all. I'll be doing my Justice is Here podcast. So join me for that. I'm going to take myself down, do the outro. I will see you all. Have a fantastic week.